Happy Halloween, guys! Hello, I'm Dr. Sam, and tonight I'm a member of Cyberpunk 2077. Okay, again, I'm Dr. Sam, this is Dr. Sam's Health, and today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about COVID-19, we're going to talk about Halloween, and we're going to talk about something fun. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk. As always, couple of disclaimers. I'm a medical doctor, I'm a practicing physician, but anything I talk about in my blogs and my videos is not a medical advice, and it's merely my opinion, which is here for educational and mostly entertainment purposes. So please don't take anything I say as a medical advice again, and my opinion is solely mine, and it might not be representative of the opinions of my regulatory bodies, my universities, and my profession in general. And now let's talk about the most important item for tonight, which is Halloween in the time of pandemic. First of all, I have to say that I believe that this whole idea of trick-and-treating during the Halloween night, during the pandemic, is ridiculous. And for those of you who have been following my channel for a while, you know that I'm a rather liberal thinker. I am not a big fan of quite restrictive measures. I'm not a big fan of lockdowns. I do believe that certain things are helpful. I believe that masks are helpful, but they should not be forced on everybody. I believe that we should protect our elderly and people who are vulnerable. I believe that we can minimize the chances of being exposed to the virus by physically distancing, not socially. Who came up with these words? But physically distancing, keeping certain distance, washing our hands, sanitizing surfaces, trying to minimize contacts in general, strengthening our immune system and our health. If you are overweight, losing weight. If you have some sort of uncontrolled medical disease, go to a doctor, talk to them. Make sure that at certain point, when you will catch the virus or be exposed to that, your body will be healthy enough to fight it off. Again, it's not a medical advice, it's just a common sense advice. And let's use common sense when we are thinking about this scenario of trick-and-treating during the pandemic. I believe that this trick-and-treating creates a scenario where the odds of being exposed to the virus grow exponentially. Just imagine that we've got a massive number of people walking from house to house and exposing themselves to different hosts. My household, usually during the Halloween night, I've got at least 50 groups of people stopping by, if not more. So effectively, we're creating this situation when large number of people is being exposed to another large number of people in a consequential way. So if there is one household that has COVID, likely it will be a situation when at least like 30-50 groups of people will be exposed to COVID. Likely there are multiple households in my community, and likely all these people who go through their households, they will be exposed to the virus, which creates literally a situation where the number of exposures grows exponentially. And as always with this virus, I say that I hope I'm wrong, but if we had a full-blown Halloween, I think we would end up with a huge spike in number of new cases. But I honestly think that we have dodged this bullet. I had just a couple of trick-and-treaters stopping by, but then I realized that I don't want them to come too close to my door, and I don't want to get into contact with them just because I've got some seniors living with me, and I've put a sign saying that sorry, no trick-and-treating, seniors inside, meaning that, you know, I do care about my seniors, which are my parents, and I don't want them to be exposed to coronavirus just because they are 70 plus years old. In any case, enough about COVID-19, sick and tired of this subject. It's still Halloween and it's time to enjoy certain things. So my prop for this Halloween, it's a bit of a pathetic Halloween to be honest, but I am a member of Psycho Squad from Cyberpunk 2077. It's actually a pretty cheap rig. It's supposed to have some sort of a lights here, but it doesn't really work. it was an impulsive buy. I'm waiting for a video game called Cyberpunk 2077 by Polish company called CD Projekt Red, and I would like to talk about that tonight. So if you have watched some of my previous videos, you must have seen me talking about the video game called The Witcher, the TV show The Witcher, and you know that I'm a big fan of a specific universe, and also you could kind of understand that I'm a bit of a nerd and I like certain video games, and I'm a big fan of certain companies. So I've been talking about the game called The Witcher, and it is made by a Polish company called CD Projekt Red. I think that they've made an amazing story, an amazing game, very immersive, very beautiful, with difficult choices, something that you can relate to, empathize with, and it was a pleasure to play it. And they have announced that they are making a video game called Cyberpunk 2077, which is based on a beautiful tableboard game called Cyberpunk 2020 by Mike Pondsmith. And I've been waiting for this game for a while. And when I was talking about 2080 Ti, the video card, I said that I bought this video card because I was building this rig, a PC, to play this game at maximum settings and really enjoy it. And again, since I'm opening my heart here, opening my soul, it might sound odd that a grown-up man has bought an expensive PC to play video games. Well, what can I say? First of all, the guy who plays Witcher, grown-up man called Henry Cavill, builds his own PCs and plays video games. I honestly believe that video games are an amazing way of spending your time and enjoying beautiful stories. It's actually a new form of art. They are much more immersive than, say, watching a TV show. You can spend multiple hours playing a video game, but I would say this number of hours is comparable to the number of hours you can spend watching a cool TV show. But unlike a TV show, you can actually usually customize a character, play a certain role. The video games, they have quite a few perks in terms of neurodevelopment. In my personal opinion, I think that I ended up in Canada, abroad in general, because I was playing video games. Because when I was a kid, I grew up in a very dark place, to be honest. Like, it was like a aftermath of Soviet Union breaking apart, and my formative years I've spent like with very little cool things around me. But one of these cool things was a personal computer that was used for some research in case of my dad, and there was a computer at his office, and I remember playing like Wolfenstein, I remember playing Civilization. I remember that everything there was pretty much pirated, but the good thing was that all this software, it was in English, and I literally had to learn English in order to play video games, to understand certain things. I remember playing Might and Magic, Civilization, all these role-playing games, and they usually have lots of dialogue. So I literally learned English because of that. I learned how to program because I was fascinated with computers, and I really liked that. Also, I remember all these titles that I was exposed to. Like, again, I mentioned Wolfenstein. Maybe I'll make a video about the newer ones. The latest reboot of Wolfenstein. Also, I played Doom, of course, and everybody in my age bracket it was like a fantastic game made by the same id Software. The irony is, I just said id Software is the company that makes these games, has the most psychiatric name ever, id, which is one of the Freudian terms, right? Then I realized that the genre that I really liked. I liked real-time strategies, RTS, and I was a champion of Command and Conquer and Dune 2. But later on, I really started liking real role-playing games like System Shock, like Deus Ex, and obviously some others. But actually, since I mentioned Deus Ex and System Shock, I believe that this game that is going to be released, Cyberpunk 2077, is going to become Deus Ex, that the way that it was meant to be. And by that I mean that it will be a very big immersive game set up in the not so distant future when people are so developed technologically that their life doesn't matter much. And as with most of the cyberpunk lore stories, we've got a situation when we've got lots of drama and we've got lots of philosophy hidden behind the kind of cool aspects of all these video games. And I hope to explore it very soon. And actually, I'm going to talk about quite a few things prior to this game being released. And these things would be Deus Ex, Human Revolution and Mankind Divided. Pretty cool story. And I believe that the moral of the story, the philosophy of the game is reflecting the very profound conflict between human and machine, like this interaction and what we are going to become. I'm going to talk about transhumanism, if you will. But returning to the game, I'm actually looking forward to have it. And I've got this little helmet just because I'm waiting for the game. I cannot wait to play. I've got a couple of other things. I've got this Cyberpunk lore story. There is some reflection, but I hope you can see it. Pretty cool book. I haven't opened it yet, but it's just like memorabilia of the past that I haven't experienced yet. I've got this fantastic chair by Secret Labs that I think I'll make a video about unboxing. And again, I've built my computer to play this video game. So I went on a tangent, but this rig is actually pretty cool. And I got this computer in the November of last year. And the reason for that was because I was hoping that the game will be released in April 2020. And unfortunately, it was delayed to September, then to November 19th. And then it was just last week, it was communicating to everybody that the game will be released on December 10th. And I cannot say it's tragic, but it's very upsetting. And I know that the whole community of, like, I guess millions of gamers waiting for this game to be released was very upset because it's like the third time when they are postponing this game. And we all make plans. Okay, I built this rig, and when I was talking about 20 Ti, I said that, I was actually really butthurt because of the fact that, if I knew that this game would be released that late in 2020, I would have waited and I would have gotten much better machine. So I would have gotten like 3080 or 3090, different processor, like the 11th gen of Intel processors, and so on. Nevertheless, it is what it is. The game was delayed, and hopefully it will be released in December 2020. I have read about CD Projekt Red that they are getting all kinds of threats and people are angry, and I can actually relate. I understand that, when you are building this hype for this video game, it's very hard to contain your emotions. Like in my case, for example, not only I've built this rig to play this video game, I'm just pointing at my computer, but also I've taken a week off work in the end of November, and because of that, right now I feel like a little bit betrayed. Anyhow, it's not a huge deal, it's just 3 weeks. I will definitely have an awkward moment when I will be explaining why I don't need this vacation right now. And just in case you are wondering how come that a medical doctor takes time off to play a video game, isn't it childish, is it irresponsible? My answer to that is rather complex. First of all, as I said, I believe that video games are a great way of spending your time. It's like reading a book, but it's interactive, right? Or watching a TV show. Some of you are binge watching TV shows. I'm playing video games. I'm getting much more fun just playing a cool story, being part of the story, than just watching it. And this story will be really cool. And there will be an element of philosophical way of thinking, just because, again, I'm a member of a Psycho Squad, right? So there will be a lot of like transhumanistic notions, concepts there, thinking where does the human end and the machine begins. And I'm definitely looking forward to explore that. So that's the first part of my answer. And the second one, I simply have to take time off. And because of this pandemic, I cannot go anywhere. I would love to go to Europe. I would like to go to California. I've got some friends there. But if I go there, say for a week, when I'm coming back, I have to self-isolate for 14 days. And it pretty much makes any kind of travel virtually impossible. So I think that the most realistic and responsible thing for me to do is just to stay at my place, and it might not be the most productive way of spending my time, but definitely if I want to have some fun, that would be the coolest way to do this. Plus, I've been waiting for this game for a while, and I hope it will not disappoint. So CD Projekt Red, I believe in you. I'm waiting for this game to be released. And to those of you who are upset with the company at this moment, I will say the following. Please use radical acceptance. There is nothing we can do about this situation. No matter how angry we are with the company, it will not change the fact that the game will not be released before December 10th. I hope it will be released on that date, and there are good indications that it will happen. I personally have a little bit of a concern right now because it was postponed several times, and it might be the sign of some major problem in the development of the game, but I do believe in this company. They seem to love their creations, and they seem to invest a lot of heart and soul into their games, and I hope that they will deliver a very cool, polished product. Some of you are considering canceling pre-orders. I don't think it will change anything, to be honest. I have my pre-order, and I have my 2 versions of collector's edition ordered, but I'm not gonna cancel them because I don't want to hurt them. And just yesterday I learned that because of this delay, they have lost 25% of their capitalization or market value. So that's a huge enough incentive for them to wrap up this game and finalize it. And quite honestly, I feel it's a little bit too much of a punishment for them, but I'm pretty sure that they will bounce back as soon as they release the game, and I hope it will be amazing. So CD Projekt Red, we're waiting for you, and we are patiently waiting and hoping that the game will be great. And I've spoken about everything I wanted to, and I will announce that likely in one of my next videos I'll do the unboxing of the Secret Labs chair, Cyberpunk themed. I wanted to do it on November 19th when the game was meant to be released, but it's not going to be released, and this chair is getting too old for me. Anyhow, I wish you all happy Halloween, enjoy your night out. Likely will watch my video after that, but still, have a good time. If you like my videos, hit the like button. If you love them, subscribe to them, as Dave Lee says. Also check out my website, drsamshealth.com. I've got all my blogs there and some tools that you can use for self-improvement and following your nutritional plan, exercise, and so on. So, thank you so much for watching. As always, have a good time. Bye.